Our Ladies Night Special continues now with tag team action with Brooklyn Von Braun and Josie Jane facing Hall of Famers Jacqueline and Ivory.
That's gonna be a good one. Couple of Raleigh Flash graduates facing a couple of Hall of Famer legends.
This next tag team match, one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Syracuse, New York, Brooklyn Von Braun, and from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Josie Jane.
Just a handful of ladies have graduated from Riley Flash's Wrestling Academy in Canada. But Team Brooklyn, like the Canadian Cartel, are a pride and joy to their trainer-manager, who sadly couldn't be here tonight, but I just know he's watching. Wherever he is, Brooklyn and Josie have amazing tag team chemistry, and they could be more than a match for Ivory and Jackie.
That's no bull. Brooklyn Von Braun and Josie Jane are an efficient team. They work very well together. They tag frequent, they tag often, and they've got some pretty good tandem moves together.
Their opponents, the team of Ivory and Jacqueline.
True story, guys. Jacqueline was my first pro wrestling crush when she was just Miss Texas a long time ago. But she has become a Hall of Famer, a pioneer of the diva generation. And her and Ivory, well, they go back a long way as tag team partners. They've got some pretty good chemistry too. And it's going to be a pretty good matchup between them and Team Brooklyn.
Jackie and Ivory have been part of the Ladies Legends division for many years now. And it's always great to see these former ladies tag team champions, these Hall of Fame superstars in action. Should be a fiery match between them and Brooklyn Von Braun.
That is exactly what it is all about. GB and Jacqueline and Ivory never fail to deliver a quality match. Well, neither does Team Brooklyn for that matter, so we shouldn't be too disappointed. Alright, looks like sides are chosen up. It's gonna be Brooklyn Von Braun and Ivory starting us off here. Oh wow, this is gonna be a good one. Tom Canamora rings the bell. Ivory charges, swings and misses. Brooklyn Von Braun misses with the crossbody. Ivory with a shot across the face, and a second one spins her around. Brooklyn Von Braun whip to the corner. Whoa, nice counter from Brooklyn. A kick to the midsection for Ivory. Ivory counters Brooklyn, shoves her away, charges. Brooklyn counters again with another kick. Ivory whips her to her own, her team's corner, but gets countered by Brooklyn Von Braun. Brooklyn whips her to her team's corner. Here's a tag, and here comes Josie Jane. The double team, the drop toe hold and the elbow drop across the back as Josie Jane takes over for her team. Ivory catches a leg drop. Josie Jane, a real talented star in her own right. And her and Brooklyn make a great team. Here comes Jacqueline on the tag. Josie Jane, rounded up by Jackie. Snap suplex from Miss Jacqueline, who misses with the stomp. Josie Jane rolls back, slides back into the ring. Excuse me. Josie Jane with a backbreaker on Miss Jackie. Jackie rounded up, sweep of the leg from Jacqueline. A sweep of the leg from Josie Jane. Josie and Jackie, All right, well, here we go. Forearm from Jackie. Josie swings and misses. Josie whipped to the far corner, rebounds out. Jackie's got Josie. Josie counters. Josie with the crossbody on Jackie. Well, now, Josie Jane stretching Jacqueline. Quickly back up on her feet. Jacqueline on the receiving end of some bad business here. Look at this, Jackie. Back up on her feet, counters. Josie Jane quickly right back on top of things. Whips her to the far corner. Oh, man. Fails to connect with the driving knee. Jacqueline got a hold of Josie Jane by that pixie cut. Elbows to the midsection from Josie Jane. Josie tries for the discus punch. Jacqueline just a step too quick. Here's a forearm from Josie Jane. Josie whips her to Team Brooklyn's corner. Jacqueline counters that with a kick, drives a shot into the back of Josie Jane. Josie Jane being escorted to the opposing team's corner. A snapmare instead and a kick to the back. Josie Jane laid out, and here comes Ivory. Josie Jane trying to crawl to safety in her corner, but no good. Counters with an enziguri, takes Jacqueline down. Jacqueline rounded back up. Hard whip to the opposing team's corner. Here comes Josie Jane. Fireman's carry from Ivory. Elbow from Josie Jane. Ivory whip to the opposing corner. Ivory counters, escapes the corner. Eyeballing Josie Jane, waiting for her to make the first move. Ivory just stalking her. Here we go, kick to the midsection and a face buster. Ivory timing that perfectly. Drags Josie Jane center ring. Covers and hooks the leg. 1, 2, nope. Josie Jane gets up the left shoulder. Ivory whips Josie to her team's corner. And now it's a double team as Jacqueline takes over for her team. Oh man, double flapjack as Jackie takes over. Jackie spears Josie. Jackie doing a little bit of showing off here for the fans in Pensacola. Jacqueline drags Josie a little bit, drops an elbow across her chest, follows it up with a stomp. And now it's Josie Jane in a rear chin lock. But Josie counters, gets back up on her feet. Whoa! Oh, a nice spinning wheel right there. Josie Jane doing a little bit of showing off herself. A kick to the chest to Jacqueline takes her down. Jackie taken down with a clothesline, a second from Josie Jane. And a heel kick. Josie Jane starting to fire on all cylinders here. Jacqueline counters with a forearm. Jackie goes behind. German suplex with a pin. Oh, man. Josie Jane finds her way out of the trouble right there. Oh, slams her down by her arm, face first to the canvas. Josie Jane countered with a jawjacker. A clothesline. Jacqueline drives the knee into the chest of Josie Jane. Josie again trying to crawl her way back to her corner. Jacqueline's not going to let it happen. A snap of the leg to Josie Jane. Jacqueline stalking Josie Jane here. Goes around and whoa! Wrap around DDT. Oh man, Josie Jane is out. She's got to be. Here's a cover from Jackie. 1, 2. Almost a 3. Brooklyn Von Brown didn't make it in time to make the save, but Josie Jane powering out just a 3.9. Jacqueline stalking Josie Jane again. Here she comes. One more time for the wraparound DDT, but no. Josie Jane counters, snap mare. And look at this. Hammerlock from behind on Josie Jane. On Jacqueline. Josie and Jackie back at it again. Josie's got Jackie locked up. Jackie's trying to get out. Josie releases Jackie. Follows up with a stomp. Josie rounds up Jackie. Jackie pitched to the outside onto the floor. Josie Jane, look at this. Takes herself to the top turnbuckle. Jacqueline just standing herself back up on the outside. Here we go. Oh, man, didn't connect. Compensates with a shot instead, but Jacqueline counters, shoves her away. Brooklyn Von Brown watching her partner take it here from Jacqueline. Jackie driven into the ring steps. Josie Jane rounds her up. Jacqueline counters with a kick. Brooklyn Von Brown behaving herself for the moment. Jackie rolls Josie back into the ring. Here comes Jackie, who rounds up Josie. Josie whips Jackie to her team's corner. Josie counters Jackie. Josie whips Jackie to her team's corner. Josie puts the boots to Jackie. Oh! Hard right. Jacqueline hung up on that bottom rope. Oh, man. She caught a shot. Uh-oh, look at this. Josie Jane, are you kidding me? Oh, man. Both boots right to the face of Jacqueline, draped on the bottom rope. Josie Jane, look at this here. Oh, drive for the diving headbutt, catches a couple of knees instead. Jacqueline with a Hurricane Rana. on Josie Jane. Ivory comes in on the tag. Josie Jane is laid out. Brooklyn Von Brown should be at her tag corner. Here's a cover from Ivory, an illegal cover. Ivory trying to use the rope for leverage. Josie Jane finally tags in Brooklyn Von Brown. Let's see what this brings. Brooklyn counters Ivory, spin kick. Takes Ivory down on the floor. The referee's counting. Brooklyn countered by Ivory. Ivory counters Brooklyn again. Look at this. Whoa! Quick counter from Brooklyn Von Brown. An even quicker counter from Ivory. Another counter kick from Brooklyn. Brooklyn with the running bulldog face first into the floor for Ivory. Oh, ow. Hard forearm from Brooklyn. The referee trying to get the ladies back inside the ring. So far, no good. They're trading shots back and forth. Ivory spun around with a shot. Russian leg sweep from Brooklyn Von Brown. Damn. Brooklyn with a stomp to the shoulder. Referee's count starting to get up there. Ivory counters. Brooklyn counters Ivory. Josie Jane back at her post. Both ladies back inside the ring now. Brooklyn Von Brown double snaps the leg of Ivory. Brooklyn rounds her up. Ivory, whoa, with a quick counter. All it took was a knee to the head, and she was out of the suplex. Cross body from Brooklyn Von Brown. Brooklyn beating the head of Ivory against the canvas mercilessly. Huh. Brooklyn misses with the spin kick. Ivory a little bit too quick. Whips Brooklyn to her team's corner. Brooklyn counters and escapes. Gets a hold of Ivory. Hard whip to the opposing team's corner. He's in Team Brooklyn territory now, and Josie Jane about to lay the double team on her. Big time crossbody assisted by Brooklyn as Josie Jane takes over. Ivory just getting back to her feet. Brooklyn Von Brown watching. Look at this. Josie Jane winds her up with that beautiful slam. Josie Jane covers. One. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Man, that was close. Almost lost the referee and didn't even get a count. Well, that was kind of crazy. That's never happened before. Josie Jane hard whips Ivory out onto the floor. Not sure who that drop kick was meant for. Josie Jane up on the top turnbuckle. Ivory just about stood up here. Crossbody doesn't connect. Nobody home. Ivory just kind of laid out the way. Elbow to the midsection from Josie Jane. Hard counter from Ivory. Josie Jane with a couple of shots. Ivory counters with a forearm. And they're just trading shots over here like horses. Oh! Hard forearm from Josie Jane. Takes Ivory down. Jacqueline keeping it neutral so far. Ivory rolled back inside the ring. There's a parting shot elbow from Josie Jane before making her way back inside the ring. Going topside. Gonna go high risk here. Josie Jane misses with that. Another high risk maneuver that went bust. Look at this. Josie Jane deciding to get a little bit by any means necessary here. Disengaging that turnbuckle. He's got a hold of Ivory, taking her to her team's corner. Ivory countering with elbows to the midsection. Backs off Josie Jane. Josie Jane counters with a right. Ivory counters with a right. Oh man, Ivory went down. Not sure what that was about. Might have been a cheap shot from Brooklyn Von Brown. We're going to look at that one a little bit later. But here's another assistant crossbody. Brooklyn Von Brown taking over for her team. Stomp to the back of Ivory. Ivory rounded back up. Belly-to-belly suplex from Brooklyn Von Brown. That one shook the ring. Jawjacker. Counter from Ivory. Ivory with Brooklyn Von Brown up over the shoulders. Sit out. Powerbomb cover. Well, that did not work out. Kick to the midsection. Fireman's carry from Ivory. Brooklyn Von Brown rounded back up by Ivory. Kick to the midsection from Brooklyn. Brooklyn Whipping Ivory to her team's corner. Here we go. It is Unicorn Stampede time. It's a boot party, and Ivory is the guest of honor. Josie Jane and Brooklyn Von Brown just blind tagging one after the other, putting the boots to Ivory. And if this doesn't wear her out, man, nothing will. Here's the grand finale. Josie Jane putting both boots into the chest of Ivory. Ivory rolls out. Look at this. Brooklyn Von Brown doing a little showing off. Josie Jane covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2. Not sure if it was Jacqueline that made the save or Ivory got out herself. But we're still here. Still going on. Ivory with a kick to the midsection of Josie Jane. A face buster. Josie Jane taken down by Ivory. Ivory going for the cover here. Brooklyn Von Brown quick to break that one up. Ivory did not appreciate that. Josie Jane laid out center ring. Jacqueline laid out on the outside. This one got out of hand pretty quick. Josie Jane sweeps the leg on Ivory, takes her down. The referee finally fixing that turnbuckle. Here comes Brooklyn Von Brown on the tag. Ivory back up on her feet, catches the fireman's carry from Brooklyn. Brooklyn tags her with a forearm, takes her down. A kick to the leg to Ivory. Brooklyn Von Brown rounds Ivory back up again. Hard whip to the Team Brooklyn corner. Here's a monkey toss from Brooklyn Von Brown. Brooklyn rounds up Ivory again. Look at this beautiful tilt-a-whirl into a DDT. Ivory counting the ring lights here as Brooklyn Von Brown covers. 1. Jacqueline right there to break it up. Brooklyn Von Brown catches a shot from Ivory. Goes behind on Ivory with the counter. Hard shot to the back. Brooklyn Von Brown has her up, drives a knee into the back of Ivory. Ivory gathered up again. Brooklyn whips her to the Team Brooklyn corner. Ivory counters with an elbow, escapes the corner. Hard whip to Brooklyn Von Brown to her team's corner. Whoa! Brooklyn Von Brown just about countered out of that one, but here comes, look at this, Ivory with the scissors, and whoa, a Hurricane Rana out of the corner. Ivory with a stomp. And that is why she is a Hall of Famer. Surfboard stretch on Brooklyn Von Brown from Ivory. Trying to wear down the opponent here. Ivory stretches her again, man. Releases the hold. Brooklyn Von Brown rounded up. Arm drag from Brooklyn. Whoa! Pendulum DDT from Ivory. Here comes Josie Jane and here comes Jacqueline. Fresh partners all the way around. Spear from Jackie. Takes down Josie Jane. It's Jackie and Josie again. Josie whipped into the corner by Jackie. Jackie misses with the knee. Drop kick from Josie. Clothesline from Josie. Jackie back up on her feet. Josie counters Jackie, misses with the dropkick. Jacqueline rounds up Josie Jane. Whoa! Wicked spin kick to the face with Josie Jane from Jacqueline. And she's got the crowd in the palm of her hand. They just love Jackie. Here's a cover. 1, 2, 3. Call this one a wrap. Jacqueline and Ivory defeat Team Brooklyn by pinfall.
The time was 16 minutes 53 seconds. Your winners, Jacqueline and Ivory.
Now, some people will call that one an upset, guys, but I just can't. Jacqueline and Ivory, with all the experience in the world over Brooklyn Von Brown and Josie Jane. No disrespect to Riley Flash's Wrestling Academy, but Jacqueline and Ivory are Hall of Famers and Diva pioneers.
What a match, Jackie and Ivory snatching this one away from Team Brooklyn, even as they reached out to grab the win. Just goes to show what experience is all about. But Team Brooklyn must be credited with an excellent performance, not letting this one turn into some 5-minute-long slaughter.
Both teams showed out tonight, but Jackie and Ivory just performed better. More ladies' night action in just a minute.